Joining me now in the studio, I have Otumba Biodun Ajiboye, member of the Media Directorate APC Presidential Campaign Council for the 2023 presidential elections. Thank you very much for joining me, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so what do you make of the composition of Governor Simon Lalong led APC Presidential Campaign Council?
Well, Lalong is just a logical answer to the nagging question of the Muslim ticket or same-faith ticket that has plagued the polity in the last couple of weeks. And everybody has been bothered, everybody has been complaining. The Christian community in Nigeria have been feeling left out. It's only logical for the party to be sensitive and responsibly so to say, look, at this juncture, a Christian, governor who has the right political clout should, lead the campaign as DG. Is a logical response to the clamor, which I think is just responsible, on our part as a party. So I feel it's just fine and good.
Okay, so what can you also say about the person of Simon Lalong and the task before him for the party?
Just like I said, Lalong is a Christian, is governor of Plateau, and there is a belt in the north, a northern belt, Christian belt, Plateau, Gombe, Bauchi, southern part of Bauchi, some other part of even southern Borno that are Christians. Now, Lalong will have the ability to talk to the Christians to say, look, the choice of Ajiboye Tinubu and and Shetima is not basically on the basis of religious sentiment, but on the basis of their performance as governors, their performance and ability to perform and deliver, good governance to the people. The party did not consider the sentiment of religion or religious sentiment. And no, politics is not really religion. Politics is just about people of like minds coming together to say, look, we need to have political power. It is not on the basis of whether you are a Christian or you are a Muslim. No. Now, that was what actually, propped up Ajiboye Tinubu and his choice of a vice presidential candidate. Therefore, a certain people felt a bit neglected in the choice. And we are responding to that neglect because it's a bit, we appreciate it. It's genuine. The democracy is about representation. So in some climes, they call it representational democracy. Therefore, if a certain kind of a class of people feel neglected, we must recognize their point and their issue. And we must, as responsible people, responsible political party, we must address it. And this is what we are just trying to do. So I think it's just good and it's just balanced.
It was a major concern for Nigerians, the Muslim ticket, and now Lalong is here. Do you think is even still enough to balance that equation in carrying everybody along?
Let me tell you the truth. Politics is about governance. You need to seize political power to be able to entrench good governance. Right. Your calculation to seize political power is based on popularity, is based on ability. Right. Therefore, at this juncture, the party, APC, have felt, Ajiboye Tinubu won his primaries. It wasn't based on religious sentiment. It was a calculation of popularity. People voted. Religion was not an important issue. Now, if the Christians now feel, wow, your vice president should have been a Christian, but our consideration is ability to win elections. And we say, okay, for us to be able to win elections, this personality will be very good for us. But you are now very upset about our choice. And we're saying we are sorry, but if we do not win elections, we won't even have an opportunity to entrench good governance or come up with policies that can address your concern. Because without addressing your concern, the Christians feel persecuted. Okay, but we must be able to put policies across to be able to address this feeling of persecution or this persecution, as it were. If we do not win elections, we can't do that. For us to win elections, we have to put popular candidates, regardless of religious sentiment. So therefore, it is part of politics to have the right public relations. What we are doing now is to say, our Christian brothers, please do not be angry. We did not do this to spite you. We will never have done this to spite you. But if you give us the opportunity, if you support us and we win, then we will then discuss and say, what exactly are the issues? Let us now put policies that will address it. 1. 2, government or governance is a tripod. Democracy, the kind of presidential, governance that we practice in Nigeria is an executive, judicial, legislature, executive, and judiciary. Okay, power of the legislature is separated from the power of the executive and the judiciary. Therefore, the executive is just the presidential candidate or the president in an executive setting is the ticket, is a joint ticket. The president owns the ticket. He has a vice, so it's a joint ticket. It is his power to start with. The power is now devolved and say, I delegate to you, vice president, where I cannot perform, you perform. Constitutionally right, the vice president has a role. What the Christians actually need here is to say, look, can we talk about the judiciary? Can we talk about the legislature? This is the balancing of power. In that instance, it means that they now have a voice. It is not the vice president. If, okay, we had a vice president in Professor Osinbajo, persecution is still very clear. It's still the feeling of persecution is still everywhere. Why hasn't that Christian vice addressed it? Why do we still have that problem? So we're saying at this point that since we now see this as a problem, we now understand that, okay, we must address it. And Ajiboye Tinubu's government will work towards a Christian survival of the Christians, addressing the problems of the Christians in the right toga, in the right tone, in the right way, such that this feeling of persecution will clear off the way. Number 3, let me say again.
We are almost out of time, sir. We have our last story to take, but I really appreciate your contributions so far. Thank you very much for coming.